So as the football world continues to be on a football lockdown, I thought I'd take a little look at what the state of football would look like in 10 years' time. But in this video, we're going to be taking a look at one team in particular, and that team is them six-fingered freakazoids, Burnley. That's right, folks, back once again with another Football Manager 2020 simulation when we're going to take a little look at Burnley, them six-fingered freakazoids, 10 years into the future. Where will they be? Will they be in the Premier League? I'm hoping no. That's what I'm hoping for, but we'll have to see if that's the case. Now, before that, we're going to take a little look at the state of play with Burnley right here, right now. So they, of course, in the Premier League, they've got the Ginger Ninja, a.k.a. Ginger Mourinho, Sean Dyche in charge. Ben Mee is the captain, Jack Cork, vice-captain, and he's also the key player. You know, when your defensive midfielder is your key player, that just goes to show what kind of football you're playing at Turdmore. So let's take a ground look at Burnley. They are, of course, way back when, about 20 years ago, they were a League One side. They got themselves into the Championship and they remained there for a good bunch of years before getting themselves promoted. Thank you, Owen Cole, you flipping piece of shite. Just for the one season, back down they go to the Championship for a couple of seasons, and then they got themselves back promoted again, finishing as second runners-up back in 2013-2014, get themselves straight back relegated before getting back at the first attempt. And since then, they've spent 1, 2, 3. This is their fourth season in the Premier League, and I want that to change. I want it to change now. So we're going to fast forward in a minute and take a little look at where they are in 10 years' time. But let's have a quick look at their main players. Goodmanson is their most expensive player, £27.5 million, 28 years of age. Will he still be there in 10 years' time? Well, that's an age-old question. We'll have to wait and see. It'll be 38, so I doubt he'll still be in the game. Jack Cork, the same thing as Tarkowski and Ben Mee. So they are an ageing team. I think in the next 2 or 3 seasons, if they've not sold these guys, they'll be on the wane anyway. Nick Pope, of course, England international. Will he have more caps? Will he still be in the mix? Who knows? Chris Wood, I like him. Like him as a player. He does score goals. I think a lot is putting on this guy. Dwight McNeil, 19-year-old English fella, rated at £20 million. Other players you're likely to see when we come back. In fact, there's hardly bloody any. They're all over the age of 20-something. Josh Brownhill maybe, but he's gash, so he won't be there. Anyway, let's head into the vortex and have a little look. Look at this Austrian fella. Does it have him as Austrian in his second nationality? Go on. Doesn't have him as Austrian. That's a bag of bones. Ashley Barnes. Anyway, let's go into the vortex. See where we are. So here we go, boys, into the future. Yes, we've jumped to the old time warp, and we are 10 years later, 2029. Where are Burnley? I'm going to say, with a bit of belief that they're in the Championship. Come on, son, be in the Championship. Burnley. So they were 10th before. They're in the Premier League, boys. They've been in the Premier League, and they've been in the Premier League ever since we left. They finished as high as 7th. Oh, that was in the real world. Finished as high as 7th in 2021, 2022. They've been steady Eddie, boys. They've been steady Eddie. How disappointing am I? Well, you know, this is their era. Let them have a little bit of fun. But they finished 13th this season. Philippe Clement is the manager. Zininho Van Hoosen is the captain. Benno Bandashila is the vice-captain. And Zeno Van Hoosen is the key player. Well, let's have a look at the players then, shall we? Dwight McNeil is the one we want to look at. So, Laurie Montanu is the most expensive player. He's Romanian. He is not a regen. He's got 61 caps for Romania, and he is a striker, and he's scoring goals for Burnley. Double-digit man. That's what's kept him in the Premier League. Picked him up for a steal. £3 million from VFC Viterol. So he is a Billy bargain if you're looking for a good player. So Darren Harris, regen, not interested. Fausto Ferreira is Argentinian. They've got some Swazi players. Bought from Bayern for £17.5 million. Who bought him from China way back when. Is he international? He is not an international. Of course not. There's no Argentinian internationals in Burnley. Next up, Pedro Porro, Spanish international as well. Goodness gracious me. Picked him up from Atletico Madrid. Has he actually played Spanish games for while he's at Burnley? He has not. Why? Because nobody goes to Burnley. That's right. 29 years of age. Right back, can play also as attacking midfield as well. A bit of an interesting player, really. £38 million. You picked him up for 32 from Atletico Madrid, who picked him up from Manchester City way back when. Bruno Guimaraes, pick up from, he's a Brazilian. Is he international? He has got international caps, and he's not had them since he's been at Burnley. Oh, he has had one year when he was on loan, but technically a Spurs player. Doesn't really count. Doesn't really count, boys. Not many decent English players knocking about, and I don't see. Oh, they've got Jared Bowen. Scrap that. They've got Jared Bowen. Excellent pickup here, formerly of Arsenal and West Ham. So West Ham sold him, doubled their money, and some more to Arsenal, who then had cashed in on him for £21 million. He had a decent sort of spell at Arsenal, and now he's decided to hang out with the inbreds. Who else did they pick up? No sign of Dwight McNeil whatsoever. Yeah. So not too shabby indeed. What about the managerial merry-go-round, shall we? Let's have a look at the managerial merry-go-round. So Sean Dyche was sacked after 16 years. He is now unemployed, but he's wanted by Forest. Did he ever get any other jobs? Career stats. Why are we looking at this? There's milestones. This is what we want. Nope, after Burnley, he's been unemployed. So he was sacked earlier this season. Winning one trophy, winning one league, the championship. That was before this game started. So Philip Clement's been in just a short spell of time. Stevie Stone was in charge as well for a little bit. Let's take a look at your transfers then. So all the way back in 2019, 2020, no business in, not really any business going out. You did loan Robbie Brady to Brighton, who is no longer in the game, so we can't check out how he did there or afterwards. Next season, you did bring in Van Hoosen for £21 million standard. Liège checking in on him. He's been at Burnley ever since, really. Been chipping in with average performances. He's a defender, and I'm sure he's a Belgian international. They'll use him. He's a solid little player as well. Leo Connor from Celtic was brought in 5.75. He's now over at Krasnodar. You then sold him to Crystal Palace for 6.5. And we just did those guys yesterday. Any other ones that stand out? David Freeman, Everton. You sold Vidra to Rennes and also Robbie Brady to Ulsan out in South Korea. Ben Mee went to Reims as well. He's now available as a coach. Next manager of Thingy. Adam Phillips as well. Is that the goalkeeper? No. Moving on. Next season, 2021-2022, spent 66 million, brought in 11. Out of the 66, you spent 34 million pounds on Declan Rice, who's now a Southampton player. Man United now want to step up for them. You actually sold him to Chelsea, 58 million. Good bit of a turnaround there for the Burnley boys. You also brought Charlie Butler, Martin Langley, Eric Bailly was brought in on loan as well. Billy Ace or Arse from Brighton was brought in. You then sold him for Nout. We actually released him, I guess. Stefan O'Day from Genk. He's now at Galatasaray. You sold him for 21 million. So a good bit of double your money on that. Players going out. Jeff Hendricks went to Anderlecht. He stayed there for the rest of his career. Anyone else? Ashley Barnes, the Austrian, went to Huddersfield as well. Next season, you bought in £53 million worth of talent. And most of that was Kevin Ruig from Everton, who's now over at CSK Moscow for £6 million. You sold him. You took a bit of a hit on that one. Not really a superstar standout business move, that. Muriga, though, from Juventus was brought in. And you kind of took a hit on that as well. Players going out. Charlie Butler, blah, blah. This Vina fella, Romanian, your first bit of Romanian business. You bought him for 3 million. You sold him for 13.5. Is that correct? Bordeaux, Josh Brownhill, still in the game. Yes, he is. Stayed at Bordeaux as well. So you kind of took a hit on that one as well. Not too wise a move, that. Besides that, yeah, moving on. Nothing crazy standing out for me. £39 million of talent brought in, mostly in Brian Mbembo from flipping Brentford, and you sold him for 13.75 to Young Boys Bern, who then sold him to Olympique Lyon. He's actually gone on and actually done amazing things. He must be on the cusp of a French international call-up. £53 million rated. He's a decent little player. You had your chance, boys. Niangango as well brought in, who's now at Porto. Doesn't really actually doubled your money and some to Porto, so it's kind of gone wayside for him since he's left. Turdmore. Callum Chambers was brought in from Arsenal. He's now available as a under-23 assistant. He's at Reading. You sold him to Rangers for half your money. Also players going out. Nick Pope went to Rangers. Charlie Taylor went to Rangers. And he stayed there. Yes, he did until the bitter end, until Aberdeen gobbled him up for the final flurry. Jack Cork went to West Ham. He's your main man. He's your danger man. And he's still knocking about as a staff member. So he's unemployed looking for a job. So that's Jack Cork. Who else have you got going on here? Dimatatos. Bergmanson went to South Sulio. And did he go into big, better things? No, not really. They sold him and made a bit of money on him as well. Next up, next season, 2024-25, Danny Loader brought in for 10 million. He brought in Perez from Newcastle, formerly of Leicester. So he went back to Newcastle. Bang, bang, bang. You then let him go for next to nothing. Great. George Bello was brought in from Manchester City. He's an American international. You then sold him to Lille for a bit of money. Good bit of profit. Anthony Robinson. This is the guy who should have went to AC Milan, I believe. He's still in the game. £4.3 million rated at West Brom. Brighton took a hit on him at 8.5 and took a loss. There's the big one, Pedro Porro. Joe White was brought in as well for a loan. Anything else besides that is nothing. Players gone out in £97 million. Paul Grayson in. Anthony Knockhart went for a couple million. You bought him for 20 million. Holy shit, how come I missed that one? Anthony Knockhart gone. Brian Memembo, there you go. And then Declan Rice to Chelsea. Oliver Boscoli went to Bournemouth as well. He's now at Newcastle. You had him for a couple seasons, bought him for 12 million. Bournemouth doubled up on your money, and then they later sold him to West Ham. Next up, 2025-2026 season, Fausto Ferreira was brought in, £50 million worth of talent. Harry Holmes as well, QPR is still with you. He is a regen. Players going out, £40.5 million worth of talent. Leo Connor went. Kevin Ruig went to Thingamajig. Callum Chambers as well. Besides that, it looks like it's all change at Burnley. A couple of seasons to go. £128 million of talent spent. £57 million on this guy, Darren Harris. He is a striker. Scored double digits for you, or there or thereabouts, in the Premier League, so that ain't too shabby. Marcus Paulo from Sheffield United was brought in, as was Adam Flint from Tottenham. He is a regen as well. He's now at Leeds, so you don't waste too much time with him. What else have you got going on? Hugh Williams, Colorado. He is a regen, but a Welsh international, still at the books as well, and he's wanted. Players going out, £97 million worth of talent gone out the door, including Dwight McNeil. There he goes to Spurs, £56 million. He's still at Spurs as well. You did cash in on him. I was wondering where he ended up, and you guys make a bit of money, a hefty chunk of change on him as well. Besides that, Andrew Pearce, Stephen O'Day went to Galatasaray as well. Penultimate season, here we go, £33 million worth of talent coming in. Asia Garcia from Real Madrid. Sebastian Bregson from Brighton, another regen. He's a goalkeeper. He is Austrian. As for players going out, Walker Farines, Sadiq, Nathan Ferguson, who is that hot prospect at the back from West Brom. You took a punt on 15.5. You sold him to Sunderland, who eventually get themselves back into the Championship, and Elise to Brentford. And into the final season we go. Bruno Guimaraes was bought in for 26.5 million. He spent 98 million this season. Jared Bowen, there he is. Mateo Kovacevic, get out of it. Get out of it. It is. This is the former Chelsea man, still in the game. You bought him for 3.9 million. Goodness, how desperate are you guys? Adam Flint was sold. Molochenko was sold to Kiev. Paolo. And that is that. So we're going to get your best 11s now, shall we? This is the overall best 11 stretching from the past 10 years. Farines, Between Sticks, Bello, Tanganga. Tanganga? It's a familiar name. It's the former Spurs man, that's right. Van Hoosen was in there as well, who is he is a centre-back. Mazzoni, McNeil, Rice, Fernandez, Porro, O'Day and Mutatanu up top. O'Day gets 39 goals in 139 games. Mutatanu, 103 goals in 244 games, and he's still there, and he's still chipping bits in the world. Declan Rice as well did okay. Van Hoosen, 13 goals from the back, 354 appearances for the man. As for players that we know, Chris Wood is in there, 32 goals in 68. We don't know where he ended up. Yes. Anyways, let's go all the way back and have a look at those teams then, shall we? So in the initial season, Chris Wood got himself 7 goals, 17 goals actually. Jay Rodriguez got himself 7. He ended up going to Olympiacos, double digits for them, not too shabby. Does he actually got an England cap? He does get one England cap. Dwight McNeil was in there as well. Hendrick, Cork, Goodmanson, Charlie Taylor, and the familiar faces that remember you guys. Next season, Nick Pope remains between the sticks. Chris Wood gets 12 goals for himself and starting to reshape the team. Dwight McNeil on the bench on that bad boy. Next season, O'Day and Almada leads the line. Nick Pope still between the sticks before he's moved to thingamajig. Thiago Almada with 21 goals and Stefan O'Day for 12 goals, or 15 goals actually. So Burnley doing very, very well that season, looks like. Edison Cavani comes in. Holy shit, how old was he? He's now 42. He comes in for Burnley for a couple of seasons after a spell at Manchester United. How old is he? How old is he? For never aging Edison Cavani. The next batch, yeah, as you can see, Declan Rice coming in there with a 7.08 average. They're doing okay, actually, when you think of it. Nick Pope still remains in the team, as does Declan Rice and Dwight McNeil. Up top, Lewis Materno gets himself 14 goals and a 7.0 average on the head. Next season, he gets 14 goals again, 6.91 average. Dwight McNeil pulling the strings in the middle of the park, knockout on the bench. Fernandez between the sticks, so no Pope anymore. Next season, Fernandez remains between the sticks. Fernandez, McNeil, Matanano again with 23 goals. Umar Sadic gets himself 11 a 2-man attack. Next season, Motanu and Darren Harris this time, both double digits, man, and also 7.07 average for Mutanu. Danny Loader into midfield, Fernandez between the sticks. Van Hoosen remains in the 2027-28 season at the heart of defence. Asia Garcia in the middle of the park as well, 7.09 average for Pedro Pororo. Of course, you spent big money on him. Harris and Mutanu both double digits once again. Into the final season, and it is again double digits for Mutanu. Darren Harris with 12 goals from out wide, and the average of 7.01 average for Mutanu is the highest for the season. I think that is your lot. Quick look at the records then, boys and girls. The highest transfer fee paid was a cool £57 million from Chelsea. Goodness gracious me, Darren Harris. You probably could make your money back on that if he continues to score double digits, but we'll see. Highest transfer fee received was £55 million for Dwight Neal as well. In fact, tell a lie, that's Declan Rice, £78 million. How about the most goals scored by a player? 23 for Matanu, absolutely killing it. The most assists by a player is 14 by McNeil. The highest average rating for a player is Dwight McNeil, 7.39 average. Almeida is in second. And I think that's pretty much it. So that, my friends, is it. Now, I did say that I thought Burnley would be a championship player at a championship club, but no, they defy all odds and they remain in the Premier League despite 10 years of time. So is that going to happen in the future? We'll have to wait and see. But for now, Burnley remain. No more Shaw and Dosh. It's a new era. It looks like it's a Belgian era with Van Hoosen and Clement leading the line. Tomorrow, though, we'll go into the top 10 and it'll be Arsenal. That's right. Arsenal, they're currently lying 9th in the Premier League, but where will they be in 10 years' time? Will they win a Premier League? Probably not, but we'll have a look at it. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.